Okay, good morning. Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. It's a beautiful Monday morning. It's the 14th day of April 2025. As always on Mondays, it's about politics. Let's take a look at what really happened throughout the week and what happened throughout the weekend, basically putting everything into context, politically speaking. I'll also be taking a look at what we have on the front page of the local daily so that we get updated on what is there, so that maybe you can just go and pick your favorite paper. In studio, I have Bishop James Mbugua, who is a leadership expert and a commentator. He's also a bishop at the Fountain Gate Church in Nairobi. Bishop, good morning.
Good morning.
Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Just before I go to Naftali, what do you make it? The church, you are on the chopping board for some time now. It's something that has been happening for quite a long time. Why are you not in good terms with the other side?
Well, I must say that government is in business and church is in business, and sometimes we are at loggerheads, not because we intend to be at war, but because I believe as each of those institutions or entities pursues their plan or purpose,
yes,
some things don't seem to work out very well.
What is the plan or purpose?
You know, for us in the church, we preach, we present the kingdom of God,
yes,
righteousness, peace and joy. To the extent anything, therefore, is not righteous or bringing peace or joy among the people, then we will restate the position of the kingdom of God and the word of God, and that sometimes is therefore not received or taken very kindly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
but not that anything is done or said to offend anyone or to in any way discredit anyone. It's just that we have to be the salt of the earth and the light of the world. And in being that, sometimes some people who don't like it.
It will be unsettling.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that calls for the politics of unity that we want to talk about today, because when the church is pulling on this end and the political class also pulling on the other side, that who is in the middle here? Wanjiku?
Wanjiku, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, how we can bring that unity. Wakili, Dr. Naftali Nyamongo is a certified professional mediator and a governance expert. There should be a mediation between the two sides so that Wanjiku to have some peace of mind.
Absolutely.
Good morning.
Good morning and hello viewers. Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you know, the most important thing, as Bishop has said, Jesus Christ came with reconciliation. That there was a relationship between man and God in the beginning. That relationship was destroyed due to the lapse of mankind into sinfulness because of the sin of Adam and Eve. So Jesus Christ came to reconcile man back to God. So reconciliation and mediation is spiritual. And the framers of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 adopted it so that we may have a win-win situation, because the normal litigation process was considered as adversarial.
Yes.
So mediation is where you compromise. Two disputants compromise their what? Their stance. So that now we have a common what? Ground. That's why we have alternative dispute resolution.
Yes.
And I am a mediator. I sit in the court annex mediation tribunal at the Milmani Law Courts.
You'll tell us more about this, because when we talk of politics unity, Mark Nding'o is a governance expert, a political analyst. You've heard the two voices, great minds, as a preamble of the show. Let me just say that. Are we united?
I'll say no, and yes. No, because you know, being united is as I've said, is a broader thing. And to some, you'll find them saying we are united, but to others, we are not united. We are not united because you'll find many times we pull from different directions, and some of the things that unite us, so we don't seem to agree on them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get to that shortly, but let me take you through the front page of a local dailies. Let me start with the Star newspaper. What do you have here? Kenyans hit by Trump policies. That is what I have on the front page of the Star newspaper. Kenyans hit by Trump policies. One of the biggest things is that many Kenyans are going to lose their jobs. Why? Thousands of Kenyans to lose jobs as US President tough tariffs take effect. 180,000 people will lose their jobs on the line due to the tariffs. That's number one. Number two, there's so many figures here and statistics that you can take a look at in details on the front page of the Star newspaper. Again, the difficult journey to economic opportunity, that is what we have. Remember, we are in the second quarter of this year, and the financial year is almost coming to an end, and the process of getting the next finance bill in process, etc., is also on course. How foreign firms exploit gaps to dodge taxes, something that, again, the government launched the e-platform to do taxes. It's been going digital in terms of revenue collection in the country, and now this is where it is. Finally, Raila backs governors in fight with MPs over funds for devolution projects. This is a discussion that has been there since time immemorial, ever since the inception of this Constitution of 2010. The aspect of devolution and money following function is part of that nerve of the Constitution. But if you find it, that governors are now asking for 450 billion shillings, right? But there is a proposal to cut it down to 405 billion shillings. So there is a contention between the giver and who is going to take it. On the front page of the Standard, gold money deals. That is what I have on the front page of the Standard, gold money deals. There are three gentlemen on the front page here. You can take a look at that. The story says that it's more of a web of intrigue, where Sudan's crisis deepens as Darfur buries over 150,000 of its people. Yet shadowy gold deals thrive amid the chaos. Kenya hosts RSF warlords accused of fueling the bloodshed. Sudan has accused the United Arab Emirates at the International Court of Justice of violating the Genocide Convention and by arming the RSF. And here's the story. There is little doubt that Nairobi's silence and missteps are bound to invite global scrutiny, raising questions about complicity in a tragedy driven by profit. That is what I have here on the front page. Still, Mount Kenya is in government to stay, MPs say, and the gentleman here on subject is Deputy President Dr. Professor Kithure Kindiki. I beg your pardon. Finally, on the front page of the Daily Nation, queries over billions in Swiss banks. Gentlemen, this is not something new. It has been there. Money stashed in offshore accounts. And now it's also coming back again. It's some 6.5 billion shillings in e-visa revenues was channeled to Swiss account instead of the consolidated fund. So is it a case of same scripts being acted over and over and over again? State probe implicates Medihill in trafficking of body organs. Again, something not new. I remember doing this story way back in 2005 as a reporter. Did some of this, and many politicians also raised this in 2007, 2006, raised towards the run-up to the general election. A lot of questions were raised as per this story. Why? There's a record when you saw some two MPs fighting in the precincts of Parliament. Now there's an MP who recorded two colleagues fighting in Parliament. Is in trouble. Yeah. So you can take a look at your favorite paper and grab it. Gentlemen, let's come back and talk about the politics of unity. Reading from here, the question I want to ask you, Bishop, let me start by asking you. Now, you heard what Mark said, that it depends with what kind of unity we are talking about here. But are we united? I'll do this because the president and other leaders spoke this in Siaya on Saturday. Director? All right. So let's just listen to give it some backbone, what the president said on Saturday. Take a look.
Allow me to use this occasion to thank my elder brother, the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. I have come a very long way with the Honorable Raila Odinga. And I want to stand here today and to say, I did not know that the man I stood by and gave my all at a moment in my life, we would eventually become competitors, and that he would eventually come and anchor my leadership. And so, the Honorable Prime Minister, I want to tell you, I am truly grateful that just the same way I stood with you when you needed a man to stand with you, you have
Okay. You have equally stood with me when I needed someone to help me. Bishop, based on what the president said, the call for unity of a nation, let's just bring it back and have some broader aspects to it so that we run away from two individuals. When you hear them talk, you see two different constituencies speaking. Two different people representing different constituencies, but they are trying to reconcile the two constituencies to become one block.
Yeah.
What did you read from the president's sentiments?
With all due respect to the president and all our politicians, I have come to observe something, and it's been said that we are practicing politics of interest. Not that it's any different maybe elsewhere, but I would like to say that until the national unity and working together is a priority, then what will prevail is our personal interests and what benefits us and what works best for us, even if that means that Kenya bans. Where we are now as a nation, in terms of cohesiveness, etc., is because certain people have their own interests and they are pursuing that, and different others are having their own interests and they are pursuing that. But the two groups and their interests are divergent. So there's an apparent division or disunity, but I would say we are united in that we have come sort of to a place of agreeing, let each pursue their own personal interests. So in that we are one mind. Everyone is running, chasing after their own dream, sometimes at the expense of the national cohesiveness.
Yes.
And so there's a deliberation, there's a discussion that we must have. And I remember when I was here last time, I said we need a national dialogue so that we can have one vision, one mission, and which we pursue from our different positions and publics.
Yes.
So that then we can, the cohesiveness of Kenya becomes more important than personal interest. There's a politician, I can quote him, who one day said that the interest of a nation, there comes a time when the interests of a nation are more important than personal
That
interest.
must have been Professor Saitoti.
I think it was him.
Yes.
I can't quite remember what he was
There comes a time when a nation becomes more important than an individual.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think he made a decision that maybe was not to his favor necessarily, but he was trying to avert some trouble somewhere in stepping down, in lowering down a little bit of his own personal interest to see the nation going forward. And I think that was at the...
But who is ready to do that? More so from the political class.
Well, I don't see us wanting to do that, because even the apparent division, even like, for example, in the political class, it's not that they are divided and they are not one. It's just that we can't agree. I can't have what I want, and you can't give me, and I can't give you what you want. And so we appear to be divided. But I'll tell you this. Who ever thought that the handshake that we have just experienced in the current government would ever take place? Nobody ever thought. But the two gentlemen and their teams, I'm sure, sat down somewhere and agreed. Upon that agreement of we can do this together, we can support each other, we now enjoy that agreement and working together, as the president has just said. If that could happen between him and that one gentleman, it can happen with another one and another one. There's nothing, like lines drawn, we can never work together.
Yeah.
We just need to be a little bit more national conscious and less selfish, and focus more on how our nation can forge forward. Because if Kenya bans, at the end of the day, all of us are the losers. But if Kenya is flourishing and growing, even those that are not in power, so to say, would also flourish.
Okay.
They have their space.
Naftali.
Yeah, Mr. Oloo, in his own words, and you will allow me to quote Mahatma Gandhi. The fact of the matter is that we do not know our distant goal. it will be determined not by our definitions, but by our acts, voluntary and involuntary. If we are wise, we will take care of the present and leave the future to take care of itself. Because God has given us only a limited sphere of action and a limited vision. Sufficient unto the day is the good thereof. Full stop and report. Now, having said that, I have listened to the president speak about that unity. The question which we need to ask is that unity sincere? Was that unity between him and the Honorable Raila Odinga anchored on a judgment based on observable phenomena? Because in my view, that unity between the two were influenced by emotions and personal prejudices. Because there is no way you can divide one camp for you to gain the other. Remember, for the Honorable Raila Odinga to unite with Ruto had to sacrifice a certain what? Unity. In the name of what? Rigathi Gachagua. So we are asking Kenyans, now that we are speaking about unity, what is unity? Unity is that quality of being united as one.
Yes.
So how can we be...
Are we not united?
We are not united. We are not united. In fact, it is William Ruto and Raila Odinga who are united.
We are united.
We are not united. And what I'm speaking is capable of being treated as fact. This is not hearsay. The two leaders themselves, they too have united with their blocks, some or the entire. But the people of Kenya are not united. The mountain is not united. The people from Kisii are not united. Recently, the Honorable Raila Odinga was in the Kisii Stadium and he was jeered. Why? For the first time. The Kisiis are jeering him, telling him that whatever you are doing is not part of our representation. The unity, let me tell you, Raila Odinga has been uniting with other leaders, but this unity with him, with the President William Ruto, it was morally bad in principle and in practice. It tormented some Kenyans emotionally and mentally. People are not united and people are not happy. You know, there is that thing we call well-being. Well-being is that contented state of being happy and healthy and prosperous. That unity also to showcase what? Well-being. It begins from the from part 5 of the preamble of the Constitution of Kenya. We, the people of Kenya, committed to nurturing and protecting the well-being of the individual, the family, communities, and the nation. So when you divide some people who are part of the nation, who voted for you overwhelmingly, and then go to seek sympathy from, let's say, the quarter which never voted for you.
Yes.
Then it now acts like a supporting life machine, and you call it unity. The moment the people of Kenya are going to unite is when we will be transforming, when we will be have achieved transformation. Transformation is that qualitative change.
Okay. You know, I want to ask you, because you'll answer this question, even all of you, because what aspect of unity are we talking about here? When it comes to politics, economically speaking, socially?
No. The unity we are talking about,
yes,
Mr. Oloo, is that national unity.
National unity.
It is very paramount, national unity.
Let me get from Mark Nding'o. What's your sentiments? Based from even from what the president said.
Based on what the president said, I think on his side, he's united with the ODM party, that is Raila Odinga, because you know, the president is talking about unity for the nation, which is not, according to me, is not being honest, because he only united with the Raila so that he can save his government from collapsing. And the two parties, that is UDA and ODM, we can agree they are united in one way or the other, although not 100%, because we can find even some people from ODM are still not happy with that unity, because they are pulling from different directions, the likes of Sifuna and Orengo. But if you want to talk about the unity of the nation,
yes,
I think we need to go further and have that cohesiveness, whereby you'll, a president who is elected by the people of Kenya is supposed to be the unifying factor.
Yes.
And for him to unite the people and to unite the country, he's supposed to go further and incorporate more people to his government, not politically.
Which has happened.
Not politically, but in so many ways. Like in, if you look at employment, you'll find that it's skewed to some regions. You'll find even some other regions who never voted for this government are not even well represented. So if you want to have that aspect of uniting the country, you should have a government of all the people. Not necessarily people who are helping you to run the government, but also people who are qualified to be called experts. So I believe for the country to have that unity, we need to have that conversation whereby we'll, is even well articulated in the Constitution that whenever we have a government, your government should have a representation of all the regions. So I still believe we are not yet there in terms of unity.
All right, but let me ask you, don't you think politicians understand, in political science, the politics of unity? So there is that bit of it, politics of unity. So politicians understand that bit of it, Bishop, because that is part of it that they expunge from it and run with. But, you know, he says that Kenyans are not united, as well as Dr. Naftali says that Kenyans are not united, but I think we are united. You are a bishop. Anytime you are in the pulpit and you're looking at, can I say, Mwana Kondo?
You want to blackmail the bishop.
What do you see?
Well, Victor, there are three things here I think we are dealing with.
Right.
Politics, governance, leadership.
Politics, governance, and leadership.
Yes.
Yes.
They are intertwined, of course, but they are different. Politicians will always play politics, which has got to do with amassing more power. So politics focuses on power. And you will need power anyway to come into government.
Yes.
Where governance is the execution by the authority given of the services that you promise or that are expected.
Yeah.
But then leadership, and I think the matter we are discussing here is more of leadership. Leadership has got to do with taking people from one point to another, and they should arrive safely. And obviously, it's part of our national ethos. It's even in our national anthem, that united as a people. And unity is core and key in the nation of Kenya. I have listened to our president and his team. There's a clarion call wherever they go. They say, is it okay for the president is it okay for him to unite Kenya? And everyone, of course, says yes, because that's part of our aspirations and our desires. And anyway, united we stand, divided we fall. There is a scripture in the book of Psalms, chapter 133, that says, behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren, people that are related in any way, dwell together in unity. That is where God commands a blessing. So we need unity. It's a commodity we cannot do without.
Yes.
But as I said earlier on, we seem to have to be united in this thought that let everyone pursue their own selfish, their own personal ambitions and desires. We seem to be in agreement about that, which I think is not right. We should shift our unity or oneness position from that place where it's like everyone is free, pursue what you want to do. It's your national, it's your constitutional right, you are a Kenyan, to a place where we are pursuing the building, the cohesiveness of our nation. So that if my actions are in any way a threat to that, then I should be challenged, not just by president or one person. All the 50-some million Kenyans should stand up and tell me, hey bro, you are not doing something good. This is going to jeopardize, this is going to compromise the thing we value most, and that's the national cohesiveness of our country. Yeah.
Dr. I come back to you. As I asked, don't you think politicians understand that bit of it, the politics of unity? It's practiced all over the world in political spheres.
You know, we need to distinguish that understanding by the politician and the understanding of unity by the framers of the Constitution of Kenya. We are talking about national unity. There is no way, Mr. Oloo, you can allude that the president can chase, in fact, to impeach your deputy president. Literally, you are chasing him. You chase your deputy, you chase some of your CSS arbitrarily, without any just cause. Because of, let's say, that grudging admiration or desire to have something possessed by another. Then you go and seek sympathy from the opposition using, let's say, bribe and kickbacks. You know, that is now the right definition of a banana republic. In political science, a banana republic is an government obtained or gained through fraudulence. There is no way we can have an election each and every after 5 years. Then you find that the people who voted for the government have been kicked out. The people who never voted for it have been welcomed. And then you call it unity. How can you call it unity when a government fears or panics when students of Butere girls are denied to do what? To perform in national drama. This is culture. These are our tastes and in art and manners favored by our society. The moment we are going to unite as the people is the moment Kenya is going to transform. We have the transformation agenda.
But do you think all of us are united here? Are we united?
Yes.
I want to say that we are united because I want to serve you tea.
Yes, we are.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, and welcome back. We are united. Can we have a toast? We are all united because we have a cup of tea on Good Morning Kenya. Very, very well. So we are united, you see. All right. So Bishop, you have to say something before we took a break.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, commenting on what you've just said. Unity is displayed in different ways. Are we talking about united in action? I think we're united in action here. What we're doing, having this show. But there's also being united in mind. Are we of the same mind and view? Sometimes people can be doing the same thing in the same place, but they are of divergent views. What about heart? Where motives come from?
Yeah.
Are we united in heart? I think we should cease to judge or determine unity just by what people are doing. You know, people can be together doing something and they're actually not together, and they will not tell you that. You'd only know that they are not together if we went a little bit deeper beyond the skin and check what they are thinking and check what they are also feeling in their hearts. I can offer you a cup of tea and it looks like I'm really for you, but there's some poison in the tea. So are we really united? Maybe we are in terms of taking tea, but in terms of my motives, I am undermining you and I'm against what you're doing and against your progress. And so we need to take unity to a little bit, somewhere a little bit deeper, go to the conscience and ask ourselves the question, what's the motive behind whatever is done? I am personally of the opinion, for example, in uniting our nation, the president should reach out to everyone. If he could reach out to the opposition, then the opposition is now in government. Then every other person who was in the opposition should also be in government, and everyone who was in government should still be in government. But if it's a case of displacement, like we studied in physics, that we have to displace, to replace, etc., etc., then we have a new unity, but now we have a new opposition. And sometimes the new opposition may even be stronger than the former opposition, whereby in terms of the threat of being seen to pull together is even higher. I am of the personal opinion that whereas multi-party politics allows different people to join different political parties and have different policies and all of that. But that does not mean we have as many Kenyans. Kenya is still one. And with all that we do, we have to do it in favor of the cohesiveness of our nation. Yeah. So that we are truly united and not conveniently united. Only when it favors me, I'm saying unatosha. But when it's not favoring me, then hautoshi mboga. Really? In only 1 month or 2 months, our speech has changed? That it means there's something wrong with our motives.
Let me ask Bishop.
Yes.
Bishop, I would like you to speak with an honest and sincere feeling.
Yeah.
Raila Odinga has been known to have specialized in destroying governments. That is a fact. That is a fact. You know him like that. Do you think now this unity between him and William Ruto will survive? And what good will it bring to the people of Kenya?
Yeah.
Bishop.
What I know about the Honorable Raila Odinga is that he is very strong. He's very strong in highlighting what is not right. He's very good. He is fearless, and that's an attribute we need. My only fear now is when he's in government, he will not be a critic of the same government. So who is the loser? Kenya is going to lose, because if we don't have anyone who comments with accuracy and finality on different issues, then we can see our nation going down the drain. So I wouldn't, castigate him and think that he's into the government to destroy it. But as I said earlier on, he is into government with a motive. And the government brought him on board also with a motive. So it's a question of motive, politics of interest, not necessarily national cohesiveness. So as for what will become of the government, we will have to wait and see. In the meantime, the church is praying. We are also doing some civic education from a biblical perspective, telling our people that we should vote with our conscience, not just voting according to my man, our people, our time, our tribe, but voting with conscience, so that at the end of the day, our nation is based on a solid foundation.
Okay. I want to, before you come in, Mark, let's play again where Junet Mohamedo spoke about that, and Opiyo Wandayi, who is the CS for Energy right now. Let's play the two clips and also give it some backbone on what we're talking about.
We must appreciate the gains that we have made as a country. And I must thank Baba Raila Amolo Odinga for accepting to work closely with you, Your Excellency, to unite this country. Your Excellency, where you sit, rest assured that Baba has got our collective mandate as the people of this region to assist you to unite this country. And that from where we sit, Your Excellency, there is no turning back. We have made a decision that we are working with you, and we are doing this to the end. To the end.
Your Excellency, kitu moja umefanya pamoja na Baba ni kusaidia sisi kulete Wakenya pamoja. Sisi saa hii tuko na chairman ya budget kwa bunge, anaitwa Samatandi. Tuko na Mbadi kwa treasury. Saa hii mimi ndio kama leader ya bunge, ndio naangalia hawa vile wanafanya kazi, vile wamegawa mali na rasilimali ya Kenya. Zamani nilikuwa naona tu kwa view sasa. Saa hii chairman ya health committee ana report kwangu, Dr. Nyikal. Nauliza panga weka hospitali huko namna hii. Hiyo ndio ile Kenya tunataka, sio Kenya kubagua wengine na wengine wanakula. Kwa kumalizia, Your Excellency, mimi nataka, juzi niliangalia budget. Juzi mimi mwenyewe niliangalia. Miaka 2 iliyopita, 2021 na 2022, kuna barabara 1,400 kilometers new roads were started through the taxes of Kenyans. 970 kilometers were assigned to one region. Sisi tumeona barabara kilomita 45 peke yake hapa Nyanza yote 45, is it 32 kilometers? Na anaweza kubali, na ushuru ikisanywa inasanywa kwa kila mtu, haibaguliwi. Waseme watu fulani msitoe ushuru kwa sababu maendeleo haikuji kwenu, inasanywa kwa kila mtu. Si nyinyi mnalipa ushuru?
Okay. Mark, the tone, the message. Go ahead.
Listening to Badi and not Opio Wadai and Junet Mohamed is typical of a Kenyan politician. You'll talk something today and tomorrow you talk something different. If you look at Badi of Wadai and Junet of 2024, it's not the same Junet of 2025.
Yes.
Just because today he is in government, he's talking of uniting the country. But what has united them? Just one thing, their interest. Interest in terms of they are getting the committees they were given by the Kenya Kwanza government after being declared the majority party. And that now drives us to the question of are our leaders really honest in saying that they are united? They are not united because they only have one interest. The interest is to unite, we get the power, we get the committees we want, and then life moves on. So that's why I think there is much to do with the talk of national unity. And the two leaders, that is Raila and the president, should go further and do more than talking. Because you can't say you are united just because you have one part of the region, example Nyanza and maybe the Kenya Kwanza constituency united, and you have another region which is central, which has put away from your government. So you move one step forward, 2 steps backward.
Yes, and when you listen to them, there is that thing that Junet Mohamed had said, that Bishop, you know, si tulikuwa tunaona to these positions, you know, somewhere else.
Of USASA.
Yes, but then now that there's a position given to that person, there's that given to this, there's distribution. So Kenya is united. Is it some kind of, is there a barometer now to put it that now that is a scale of unity that people are talking about? Because if you look at the national ethos that you talked about, the national unity that is being described here is not about docket X and Y given to person X and Y. Go ahead.
Yeah, and thank you. When you listen to what our leaders, our politicians are saying, it just confirms what we had said here earlier on, that we have an apparent unity that is based on interest. If anything shifts in terms of interest, that unity will disintegrate. So, which means it was not actually unity in the very beginning.
Yes.
It was not unity as unity should be. Because to me, unity means we have one mind concerning this matter. We have one heart or same feeling. And if we are not in agreement, then we come to the table, discuss, and we will come to some certain agreement of some sort. You know, give and take. You can't have everything, but we can agree on some things. And then be one in action. When it's time to plant trees, we all plant trees. But sometimes in Kenya, and I'm speaking in parables, when some are planting trees, others are behind them uprooting those same trees. Do you think it is possible, for example, to bring onto the table all the different minds and views, harmonize them, and while as we keep our political inclinations and all that, but be united by something bigger. Because I have found that as long as it is matters within our politics, we seem to be agreed, or at least can speak from the same voice. But can we shift from our, you know, in Kenya, part of our division, which is an undoing, is because of tribes. We have very many tribes.
Yes.
A long time ago, we were divided on tribal lines. Today is not tribal lines, it's political parties. And there are as many, I think, as the number of tribes we have in our nation. But 42, 44 tribes make one Kenya. 44 or so political parties still leading the same one Kenya. So the interest of Kenya should surpass the interest we have as tribes and as political parties. Is it not possible? And I know it is, because in the days of one party, you know, before multi-party politics, the days of Kanu, we would have regional representation from all the regions, and they would come to the one table and discuss, and the nation seemed to work together and work together. And while as we have multi-party politics, many different parties, can all these parties come to some certain sort of agreement? Like, for example, in all we do, with whatever we do, we will not allow our nation to go down the drain. In all we do and say, we will not criticize or destroy what is working, what is good. Because sometimes politicians will just critique something, not because it's not very good. Some have not even taken time to study. Like, for example, SHA. How many politicians do you think have studied to understand this thing? What are the challenges? Why is it not working? What can we do to make it work? Some of them, if they need an idea that will make SHA work, they will not share it. They will say, wacha tuingie tuwaonyeshe. But they had the wisdom, you know, that they could have shared. And no one has the monopoly of wisdom. Maybe someone in the opposition has the skill, has the strategy that could get some of these government programs and projects rolling. But now the case has been, unless I'm in government, unless I'm inside there, I'm opposed to it.
Yes.
Even when they bring something good, I oppose it. So we therefore cannot agree, because not one mind, not one heart, not one in action.
I mean, gentlemen, you'll agree with me. The late Mzee Julius Kambarage Nyerere talked about Ujamaa. But did you know that Tanzanians are more than us? We are 42 tribes, but in Tanzania
there are 105.
105.
Yeah.
But you'll never hear of quote-unquote Oloo, Chaga, and all that. They're all Tanzanians.
Do you know why?
No.
It is about culture, language and culture. Mzee Kambarage Nyerere specialized, knew that for the nation or for the Republic of Tanzania to have that unity, which is formidable, then they must have one language. That's why when you go to the deep reserve in TZ, you find an elder speaking pure what? Swahili. It's about culture.
That's what brought them together.
Let me bring culture and what is happening in the United States vis-a-vis China. In his own words, and you will allow me to quote Martin Jacques, that China will overtake the US as world's largest economy by the year 2027. And will ascend to the position of world economic leader by the year 2050. Full stop and unquote. Martin Jacques is a British scholar and a journalist. He's written a book entitled When China Rules the World, the End of the Western World, and the Birth of a New Global Order. So what is he speaking about? China is moving with a neck-breaking speed because of their culture. They speak one language. Chinese speak one language. Chinese eat the same food. If they decide to eat a particular food, all of the Chinese eat that food. If they decide to drink a certain drink, all of them.
And they're proud of that.
Yeah, they call it hegemony. This is what has enabled them to make those tremendous progress. And it's going to overtake the United States as the superpower. So we are talking about culture. And now that we are talking about unity here, in our constitution, when you look at the preamble, part 3, proud of our ethnic, religious, and the cultural diversity.
Yeah.
Ours is about diversity.
Yeah.
In China, it's not diversity. It's just one culture. It's just one language. That's why you have spoken about Mwalimu Julius.
But that calls for a deliberate. You have to be quite deliberate about that. I mean, Mzee Nyerere was so deliberate about that. There's not a Chaga. There's no. All of them are one.
Yeah. And now I've been speaking about transformation.
Okay.
Because of that, let me, a minute. I beg your indulgence. Yeah. The pioneers, the founding fathers of any nation determine the future of that nation. That's why the founding fathers of our nation determined what we are now experiencing.
It is the foundation.
It is the foundation.
Okay. I mean, basically, based on what you're talking about, Mark, again, you can also respond to that. The foundation is very important, even in building a house, generally speaking, on a face value.
Yeah.
You have a shaky foundation, just be so sure. You're not going to go 3 courses up.
I mean, we know what happened in Mombasa the other day.
Exactly, you get it.
11-story building was
so it had to be bombed down.
Yeah.
Mark, go ahead.
So as much as my friend says it's more of culture, I think it's also more on leadership. Because if you compare Kenya and Tanzania, they are founding fathers, Nyerere, they preached oneness.
Ujamaa.
Ujamaa. And if you come to Kenya, the founding fathers, they did not encourage more of one Kenya. And that if you miss, as you have said, if you miss the foundation, even the roof will collapse.
Yes.
That's why you find our national cohesion is not that agreed well to the people. And I believe we have had some challenges with that. And soon I think we have seen how Kenyans can be united in one thing. Good example is when we had the June 25th last year of the Gen Z revolution. You'll find that they are united, not because they come from a different tribe, but they have one unity of asking for accountability. That is unity.
Yes.
And if you can see even what is happening now, in future, even in the coming elections, I think we are going to have a country which is going to be more united, not simply because on tribe, but on one issue, to have good governance, good accountability for our people. And I think we'll be there in some coming years to come.
So assume you are sitting in a committee of experts, the 3 of you, and you're asked, how do we achieve national unity? Again, let me start with you, Mark. How, in your own perspective, how would we achieve it as a nation? Include everybody, including the politicians, everybody as a Kenyan. How would we achieve it?
I think to achieve unity, first, we have a very good constitution. We only need to follow the constitution, do what is required of the constitution, and then, on the part of the people, we need to go for the right people when you go for elections. Get the right leaders who are going to be accountable and transparent, and who are going to follow the constitution to the letter. Yeah, I think that can bring also unity.
You talked to the constitution, and I saw Naftali nodding. He's a happy man.
Yeah,
you've touched his heart to the core. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a legal scholar, versed with the civil law and the law of nations. And when you speak about the constitution, I get happy. Because this is a body of fundamental principles or established precedents, according to which our nation has been acknowledged to be governed. Now, my brother Mark has spoken about leadership. For us to have national unity, then we must anchor right or proper what? Leadership. And for us to anchor right or proper leadership, then we must uphold our democracy and sandwich it with meritocracy.
Right.
What is meritocracy? Meritocracy is a social system in which power goes to those with superior intellects. Or it is a belief that leaders should be chosen because of their superior abilities and not because of their birth or wealth. So when you look at the president, who is now the CEO. We need to have a president, and I'm suggesting that the next general election, we should have a president who has that quality of being well qualified, intellectually and fiscally, to lead our people. Because as a symbol of national unity, then he has to have that trait of sincere and the steadfast fixed of
just to put it in perspective. Our president is intellectually, spiritually, and fit.
I'm speaking because you have asked how can we obtain what? National unity. And I'm answering, for us to obtain national unity, our leader, our CEO, ought to have that unbroken and undivided completeness. That is why now some parts of the country have begun speaking about what? Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i, because they understand this person had that act of binding himself emotionally and intellectually to his course of action.
Bishop,
yes, sir.
When you sit in that table, you've heard what the two gentlemen have said. So you're sitting there. What would you give as an advice to achieve this?
All right. I believe that unity should be based on purpose. Because of a certain purpose that we pursue, we need each other. And there are 4 things I would say will help us to forge national unity. Number 1, have the right motives in whatever we do. Do soul searching. Come back to our national ethos. Number 2 is civic education. Most Kenyans know we have a constitution, but they don't know what is in the constitution. So civic education that will educate us on what is provided for in our constitution, and also our national policies and other institutions, and what services we can expect to receive from them. Right now, people are talking about IEBC and the nominations that are going on, but few know, the policies that govern, IEBC. The third thing is national dialogue. We still need to talk. And I do know that we all talk through our members of parliament who represent us in parliament. But sometimes our brothers and sisters, instead of talking to one another, they are talking at each other, which in a sense discourages the forging of unity. And the fourth thing is hard work.
Hard work.
There's nothing else that will put money in our pockets and food on our table if we just do politicking and all of that without going back to work and contribute towards the national cake. Those 4 things, I think, will help us appreciate each other and work together as one Kenya, one nation.
I love the fact that today we talked about unity, but just to put it in context, we are all united, right?
Yeah,
we are all united. That's why we are sharing a cup of tea. There's something Bishop said, that I can offer you a cup of tea, but you don't know the motive. That's what we talked about. I have good intentions to offer you that.
I trust you.
Thank you so much. Bishop James Mbugua, leadership expert and commentator. He's also the Bishop of Fountain Gate Church, Nairobi. Mark Nding'o is a governance expert and a political analyst. And finally, Dr. Naftali Nyamongo, certified professional mediator and a governance expert. General, thank you so much for coming to the show. We've done 1 hour of full conversation. Asante sana. We talked about, shaky foundation of a house. If you don't build it right, it will collapse, So we have the CEO of the Affordable Housing Board to talk about the progress of the affordable housing. Do you have 1 unit?
We have one.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, thank you. Sheila Oweru coming up shortly, but let's wrap it up with the weather.
Thank you.
My name is Victor. Good morning.
Thank you.